one ugly mother. Hey toy fans, so I'm here much like the alien drone that Lanard Toys is putting out. They are also running a Predator series. It's actually called the Hunter series, but I think everyone's just referring to them as Predator. Much like the drone, we have another first, the Jungle Hunter Predator. Now, this is the Predator from the 1984 Predator movie, the one that, hunts down Dutch and his men there in the jungle of Valverde. We're going to jump into this one. I was so excited to get it. We're going to look at packaging. We're going to look at the toy. We're going to check them all out. And yeah, I think I called him ugly in the intro. I don't think there's anything ugly about this one so far. So what do you say? Let's get into it. And this is our Jungle Hunter Predator inside the package. Now, what I love about what Lanard Toys has done with these is that each one is in a display box, so much like the other Xenomorphs and even the Big Chap Xenomorph that we've already done a review on. These are done in that kind of window box where you can pull out the display, play with them, and actually get to put them back, and he holds well within his box. So you can take him out, check him out, and then put him back in and still display him within his box and not feel guilty for not, having them in the box or destroying the packaging to do it. Now, Jungle Hunter does come partially cloaked, and he comes in this beautiful display with a nice comic book drawing of the Predator over here. So much like what we got with the aliens, kind of making it like it was part of Dark Horse, we're getting the same thing here for the Predator collection. This is also done in that 7-inch scale, much like the aliens. Now, this boasts it has 24 points of articulation, and we'll actually go over the articulation of this action figure when we get it out. These are available only at Walmart right now. Looking at the side over here, we get, a repeat of some of the comic book style drawings of the Predator. And then we see a whole series of 3 here. We got the Jungle Hunter, City Hunter, and Berserker Predator right there. And these are the ones in their 7-inch scale that are coming out for this year, 2021. Going to the back, we get a nice logo of the Predator. We find out that it's the 7-inch scale, and we get a nice little bio of what's going on with the Predator story. We get a picture of the action figure here, along with some of the weapons and selling features. Now, these weapons don't all come with this Predator. These are the weapons that come with all the Predators within the series. Going on to the side, we get that nice logo there of Predator, and we know that it's part of their collection. Now, this is the Jungle Hunter Predator within the Hunter series collection, and there's not much else that's going to tell us anything more about this action figure, so we got to get out of the box and see what's inside. Now, this is our Jungle Hunter Predator outside of the box, and I have to admit, I was a little apprehensive about the half cloak aspect of him, but he is simply a gorgeous action figure, and for what we're dealing with price, I am superbly impressed by what Lanard Toys is doing with this particular line. I think for me, he has a nice toyality to him, so he's very playable, but he's got a lot of details right where he needs the details to be. And furthermore, he's hefty, feels solid, doesn't feel like he's gonna break, and comes in an affordable toy price. So I'm not as concerned about posing this and playing with it or having my kid play with it and having it broken as I would with a NECA toy. And this, of course, is Predator with the Big Chap, or the drone alien, all posed up. And these two work so well together. And as far as the posability between the two, you could tell they're from the same line, even though that they're two technically different properties until Dark Horse kind of combined them in the 20th century Fox did. But they work so well together. And I really feel like Lanard Toys has kind of blown this one out of the water. They've done an excellent job bringing us fun, toyetic toys that we can really play with. Again, not to knock NECA, because I like NECA. These were meant to play with, and it shows. Now, our Jungle Hunter Predator does measure right at about, 7 inches tall. It's kind of hard to see with my ruler here, but he measures right at about 7 inches tall. And it boasts that he comes with 25 points of articulation. So let's go down it. His head does have a ball joint to it. His hair does get in the way a little bit of this backpack, and so that is a little bit of a loss there. He has the swivel ball hinges on each arm, the swivel here, swivel ball hinge at the elbow, and then these are on ball joints here, but they really just serve to move as a swivel. He does have the waist ball joint there, which is nice. And then even his cannon is also on a ball joint there as well. His legs do have, it's a ball joint, but also serves almost as a hinge. So he's got a full range of movement there. And this doesn't really get in the way too much. Ball hinge knees. Or actually, no. Hinge knees. And then he has ball joints to the feet. And he has a pretty good range of movement on his feet. He does come with a series of weapons here. He has his blades, and just to note, his blades are actually fixed in. There's no taking them out or putting them back in, so they're just glued into place. He does come with this. Now, they say that this is a hunter claw. What it is it's actually the dart from Predator 2 that the detective had found before he was killed in, I think it was like a Jamaican drug lord's apartment. And then, of course, you've got your traditional Predator cannon. And his mask, just to let you know, as far as his technology, his mask does not come off. And I don't believe there's any sculpting underneath either. Maybe down the road, we'll get a Predator that is unmasked. He does come in this semi-cloak, and you can tell that there's paint that's been kind of dry brushed on top. That shows like a partial break in the cloaking itself, which is, it's nice. He has silver details with his armor all throughout here, and including on the loincloth. And the loincloth is made of a softer rubberized plastic, same as his hair. Take him off to the back. We get less of the coloration on the back because he has less that's being exposed from his camouflage and more just camouflage. But I love the detail work in here. I mean, there's texture all over, including all the netting that's over his entire body. The details on his gauntlets are absolutely amazing as well. And these two blades are separate from one another, which I've seen in the past where they just kind of run them together, like with the old Kenner toys. I mean, he's beautiful, all in all. Like, I think he looks extraordinarily well. And this is one of those where I really feel like they're kind of looking at some of what happened with Kenner back in the day, and they're also trying to compete with NECA at this point in order to create something that's more playable for the kids. So that's the Predator. That's the Jungle Hunter Predator, and I have to admit, this one has been just an absolute great figure. It's got great articulation. At first I was a little apprehensive about the half transparent, half, jungle look about him, but I think it really defines this particular Predator as what it is in the movie, and I think it's a really cool piece. I love the sculpting on it. I think that Lanard Toys has really blown this one out of the water. I think it's really cool. Not quite sure about this. This was actually a piece from Predator 2, but I guess in order to even out the parts so all the Predators have it like an accessory, I can see why they added that one, and that's probably the easiest one to add out of a lot of the accessories that they have. Let's talk costs with this, okay? I'm gonna say for this one, $9.84. I got them at Walmart for $9.84, so they're pretty inexpensive, and for what we're getting for that, I mean, I almost feel like this has to be a $1 sign because we're getting a fairly quality toy for such an inexpensive price. And so I really feel like they're doing their best to create a really great piece. So $9.84 is the going price for these figures at Walmart. So $2 signs is what we're getting because we're getting them at his normal price. It's not like he's on sale. I do want to give him one, but we're getting him two. Okay. As far as stars for this particular one, there were some quirks about him. Like his stem for his laser seems a little weird, and mine turns up there, so it doesn't stay put, so it kind of turns sometimes when the cannon's turning. The head does have some articulation hindering because of the hair and the backpack. But that's not any different than the actual Kenner toys back in the day. There's a few areas where I feel like there's a little bit of mispaint, but all in all, like, he's really good. And besides for the few areas where the articulation's kind of stopped and hindered, this thing is amazing. So I'm going to go straight 5 out of 5 stars. I think this one's really worth it. And if you like Predator, and let's say you can only get one, this might be the definitive one to get. And I say that because he's the most iconic. He's the classic Predator. And he's got, the transparent aspect. He's got, some of the coloring in there. You could always customize him easily, and texture-wise, as far as like the netting that he wears on his body, you have that availability here. They're not NECA style in that they're not like super detailed in their paint, but their sculpt is actually really good. So with their sculpt being this good, and you have some painting skills, you could technically paint him up to be basically challenging or kind of on par with the NECA figures. So I mean, it's a good action figure, so it's well worth getting. Now, remember, they're not dolls. They're action figures that make trophies of men. This episode of Tay Ray Gun was sponsored by Marvin Dog Media. To learn more about Marvin Dog Media, visit www.marvindogmedia.com. If you liked the video, be sure to hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below to let YouTube know that you like what I'm making. And be sure to hit that bell notification so you get updates to future content.